Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you find this. I just wanted to tap into the energy. It's really early in the morning, and I just finished meditating for work and stuff. So, just tapping in. The Seven of Swords. There's 6 swords, which usually is like moving on from something, or someone can move on, because you see the fox, and he's hiding the sword under. So there's a lie, deceit, or something that's trying to hide here. Oh. And you see with the, like, one eye. So a lot of you is like you're sleeping with one eye open and the other one, like, you just don't trust. Someone doesn't trust someone. I mean, a lot of people are deceiving, conniving right now, so. So that's the energy. What Spirit wants to let you guys know. Like, a lot of you, you're right to feel this energy of betrayal, or it's almost sneaky. You know, this sneaky energy. Oh, Son of Cups. That's usually the Page of Cups. Like someone's not sorry. It's like not sorry, or like there's an empty cup, like it's spilled, like someone's not genuine, or it's not who they think they are. Others of you, it's like they don't want you to know. For some of you, you need to do like paternity tests or something, because some of you, it's not your kid, okay? Or others of you, I wouldn't be drinking or eating, whoever this is that you can, like, even at nighttime, you can't sleep, you sleep with one eye open. You're right about that, okay? Like, there's some weird shit that they put in their cup and your food, okay? And it could be someone manipulating, controlling. A fucking psycho. What's wrong with you guys? Sleeping with the fucking devil. Like, what's wrong with you? Cut that shit off. But I know it's easier said than done, right? Because a lot of you are unconscious and you're not aware. I mean, hello. You will never think there's someone that you think you can trust will be putting stuff in your food and shit, and could have been from the beginning, yeah. What is this? Yeah, there's an illusion in the dark. 7 of Cups, and yeah, someone's doing stuff for money or for some type of come up or something like that. Yeah, but they're gonna reap what they sow. A lot of you were sneaky lovers, huh? Bueno. Yeah, someone's aware here. You aware? Stop lying to yourself. You aware? Okay, so what do they need to know? Because obviously this is a confirmation for someone. Like, you know. You aware. Okay, so this is what someone could be, doesn't want you guys to know, that doesn't want you guys to be aware of their sneaky ways or their betrayal or what they're doing. I don't know why, but I feel like they're not sorry. There's no shame and embarrassment or guilt. So be careful with that, because someone who has no shame or guilt of the wrongs that they're doing, don't have that around, okay? This is someone who also thinks they're not gonna get caught, yeah. Like juggling, or damn, a lot of you guys are like someone's juggling you. Yeah, that's what the communication is gonna happen, or that's gonna be, yeah, some of you, it's like you're protecting something. 3 of Wands in reverse. It's like some of you have a lot going on, but someone wants to speak some truth or tell you something. Yeah, there's someone is aware of this betrayal. Yo, this is the 10% reverse, yo. Like, this is a confirmation as well. There's some weird shit in the background being happening, some type of ritual or something. But it looks like it backfired because the cup is in reverse. So a lot of someone had this creepy cup around. Yeah, it's spilled. Could be someone like trying to take energy as well, like take energy from you, like life force or something. like your flame, your passions, or something like that. Maybe for some type of come up, some type of transformation or something, but it didn't work. It's like they're waiting for nothing because this is like, and they're impatient too. They're like, oh my God, why isn't it working? Why isn't it working? Because it's not gonna work. This person, whoever they are, they're anointed. And if they're not getting confirmation by other people, they're getting like dreams or something. Like, yeah, there's a heavy betrayal here. Five of Swords. Is it? Yeah. In reverse. Five of Swords in reverse and the Hierophant. Yeah, this could be also like an institution or something like that. Like they're crumbling, or their deceit, their lies is crumbling. Like they thought that this is gonna work or something like that. Like maybe they thought that like people will see you in a different, like maybe this is someone who's trying to change the narrative for a lot of you, like make you look like you're unstable or something, or like, I don't know, or maybe try to prevent you from transforming. Or others of you could be like, for a lot of you, you're meant to be in unions, like real unions. And I'm hearing that scripture where Father God was telling that lady, like, oh, you never, like, she's been married multiple times, but then he's like, no, you never be married. You're gonna be married like with the right person. So a lot of you, it's like there's someone who like doesn't want you to be in a true partnership or a true union, but this is someone who betrayed you multiple times. I feel like this is someone who enjoyed like multiple times backstabbing you. Five of Swords, but it's like they're defeated, like nothing is working for them. Like they're jealous and envy is just, yeah. A lot of you, it was like maybe like someone who you were in a committed relationship, like you never got to marry them or something like that. This is someone who like wanted you to stay single, and like it's weird. This is someone who can move on. Others of you, it's like it could be an institution or something like that crumbling, like their deceits and their lies are being exposed. Like they're waiting for some type of come up or something, or they're waiting for something to go their way, but it's not. It's not. This is a 10 of Cups in reverse. What the fuck? This is the 9 of Cups? The 6 of Cups. Oh. Yeah, this past, this thing that it was rooted, I feel like this is colonial shit, like decolonization. Yeah. This wish fulfillment, like trying to siphon. Yeah, that's the truth. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah. That's what's coming up this morning. Yo. So, like I said, this is a confirmation again. It keeps popping up. Whoever is doing this shit, his betrayal out of jealousy, because the Hierophant is like, it's like a belief, value, or something like that, principle, but it's in reverse, okay? Because you see upright, it's, you know, the crow is like, a lot of you could be seeing crows with the, but it's in reverse. It's like, this is coming back. So whatever this institution was doing to like backstab or trying to betray people, try to keep people in fear, or because swords, this is mental, right? With the 5 of Swords also. It's like they thought that if they had 5 swords more, even though they already failed, right? Or like some type of something sacrificial. Animals, or, you know, people, weird shit. Yeah, these people are fucking weird. Anyways, it's falling, crumbling. That 10 of Cups and their energy is falling off. It's not gonna work. Yeah, they're not gonna get wish fulfillment. They're not gonna get, the cups are spilling. Everything is spilling. And they're getting heavy karma. That's the truth. Yeah, judgment. Oh, fuck. I know a lot of people say don't rejoice when people's thing. Okay, so for example, this could be what the president is doing to to the guy, to the student.
Mahmoud Khalil has been arrested by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents over his leadership in pro-Palestinian protests that took place at Columbia University in 2024. Khalil, who is a green card holder, was arrested in March 2025 at his Columbia University student apartment. His attorney, Amy Greer, was told by ICE agents that the immigration agency was acting on orders from the State Department, which had revoked Khalil's student visa. When she told them he had a green card and needed to be released, they said that would be revoked too. Greer added that authorities refused to explain to Khalil's US-born wife, who is 8 months pregnant, why he was arrested. Khalil, an Algerian of Palestinian origin, is being held at an immigration detention facility in New Jersey. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio took to X to announce that pro-Palestinian students' visas would be revoked. The 2024 campus protests involved students urging their universities to divest from Israeli companies and hold the funding of Israel's genocidal war on Gaza. Khalil's detention comes after Trump signed an executive order to deport all foreign students involved in pro-Palestine protests. The president's administration is also cracking down on Columbia, which it accuses of failing to protect Jewish students. According to a news report, Columbia's newly opened Office of Institutional Equity, a body meant to oversee discrimination cases, is targeting students and faculty who are pro-Palestinian. Suspensions, expulsions, loss of housing, and even diploma revocations are some of the punishments the OIE is dishing out to those it finds guilty. Khalil's colleagues say this is just the beginning of Trump's campaign to silence pro-Palestinian voices.
For almost 1 week now, Israel has blocked food and other humanitarian aid from entering into Gaza. And then you may have seen that today it also cut off remaining electricity, which, among other things, threatens the only desalination plant in the main, the central area of the Gaza Strip, which of course provides drinkable water. So these things are genuinely illegal, and I'm going to broad strokes break down exactly how, because now more than ever, it's genuinely really important that we say that and that we emphasize that and that we don't sort of normalize this, because I see it happening. That's not okay. And international law sort of underpins all of the work that I do in my day job, which is why that's the perspective that I bring to this. There are 4 main ways that I want to highlight in which this is illegal. The first is starvation as a method of warfare. Now, the Geneva Conventions prohibit using starvation as a method of warfare, and of course, cutting off food and humanitarian aid and electricity contributes directly to starvation and deprivation, which is a war crime. The second is collective punishment as a war crime. Now, we hear this term a lot, and it might seem self-explanatory, collective punishment, but what it really means is that no protected person, which civilians are protected persons, no protected person shall be punished for a crime that they did not personally commit, or an offense, rather. So cutting off basic services, basic life necessities to an entire population as a form of retaliation or to put pressure on Hamas is a clear case of collective punishment. The third one is the war crime of attacks on civilian objects. So these are things that are not military objects. Schools, hospitals, water sanitation plants, which this cut of electricity directly affects. Under the Geneva Conventions, it is illegal under international law to target civilian objects. Now, I know that in the last year and a half, well, actually a lot more than the last year and a half, but particularly, let's say, in the last year and a half, we have seen the state of Israel break this time and time and time again. Schools, hospitals, civilian infrastructure galore. That does not mean that we get to stop calling it out as illegal. In fact, it is more important now than ever, because we have to do everything we can to hold the line on international law. Because international law is not a magic button. Just because something has been decided to be illegal doesn't mean that states can't do it. What's necessary is the collective political will to hold them account and to influence their behavior. Fourth is the crime of failure to ensure humanitarian assistance. Now, according to the Geneva Conventions, an occupying power is required to facilitate the free passage of medical and humanitarian aid. The issue is that I have seen so many news articles, news reports, posts on social media about this, about Israel, most recently, blocking food and other humanitarian aid from entering into Gaza, and then today from cutting off electricity, I have yet to see it be called out as illegal. And that's not some radical thing. In fact, I think it's really radical and strange that it's not being labeled illegal. That's what really scares me, because as we start to concede that even if we don't realize we're doing it, that this might be, it's a normal-ish thing to do, even if it's horrible, if we don't label it as illegal, which it blatantly is, we make it easier and easier for Israel and other states to get away with this kind of behavior. The laws and the rules that we have are only important if we decide they're important. They really only exist if we decide they exist, because they're not forces of nature. This is all made up. This is all made up by human beings. So it's our job to do everything we can to hold the line on it. And part of that means insisting. These are illegal things and they have to be spoken about as such.
When I was crossing the border into Palestine this past summer, one of the things they asked me during interrogation was if I was going in to create propaganda. Not just any propaganda. Specifically, and I quote, they wanted to know if I was going there to create student encampment from the river to the sea propaganda. These are the words they used. And now witnessing what's happening to Mahmoud Khalil, a Palestinian who's attended Columbia University, get straight up kidnapped by our government for protesting and negotiating on student encampments to end genocide, and not just end genocide, but to hold his own university accountable to its ties to weapons manufacturers, companies whose sole purpose it is to kill people, while entering a place where the occupying powers protocol it is to disappear Palestinians, unfortunately. Y'all, they're terrified. They're so freaking scared. And our job is to just keep doing that. They are every day creating so much instability in our communities and our lives. And so we have to create instability in their systems that are designed to hurt us, to hurt the people that we love here and over there, wherever over there is. And they hate that Palestinians and people who are against killing hundreds of thousands of people who are against genocide, people who are against ethnic cleansing, they hate that we've been echoing the calls to create these instabilities in their genocidal systems. They hate what we've done. They hate what we're continuing to do. So don't stop.
The case of Mahmoud Khalil is not only concerning, it is unjustifiable, inexcusable by any measure. But what is worse than the fact that he was actually detained by ICE, even though he has a green card, even though he's committed no crime, is the complicity of the university, of Columbia University, and the lack of action on part of the university, the faculty, the students. Columbia University should be shut down. There should be protests all day, every day, all around campus. And actually, not only Columbia, other universities, students and faculty and administration should all be up in arms for what was done to Mahmoud Khalil. This is what's wrong here. The fact that he was arrested is horrifying. The fact that people are watching on the sidelines, not participating in the struggle to free him, not demanding that this injustice be rectified. The fact that life goes on supposedly as normal on campuses across the country, that is the problem.
A young man by the name of Mahmoud Khalil, an immigrant and a legal permanent resident of the United States, is being held right now in prison, even though no criminal charges have been filed against him. Now, I want to tell you why that should matter to every single American. Khalil is a recent graduate of Columbia University. He opposed Israel's military operation in Gaza. He has deep animus toward Israel's policies and the U.S. support for those policies. He helped organize the protests over Gaza at his university last year. You can disagree with his views or his politics, but there is no evidence he has broken any law. But last weekend, Trump officials entered his apartment and took him into custody. They brought him to a detention facility in New Jersey at first, but when his family went to visit him, he wasn't there. For a while, his family and his lawyer had no idea where he was. They eventually found out that he was being held in a detention facility in Louisiana, and that's where he still is today. In dictatorships, they call this practice being disappeared. No charges, no claims of criminal behavior. The White House doesn't claim he did anything criminal. He's in jail because of his political speech. And here's why everybody should care. In America, your political speech is protected, whether or not the president likes what you say. But today, if you're loyal to Donald Trump, your speech is going to be protected, even if it's hate speech. You can be Marco Ellis, an employee of Doge, who said he, quote, was racist before it was cool, and, quote, normalize Indian hate. And the Vice President of the United States will tweet in your defense. But if you are disloyal to Trump, or you're organizing against Trump's political agenda, your speech could be criminalized. You could find yourself in jail. Now, Trump chose to begin by disappearing a Palestinian immigrant, hoping that his place of birth and his immigrant status would just cause people to look the other way. But we cannot. Because once it becomes normal for the regime to disappear people simply for protest against the regime's policies, once a citizen or a resident of America can be locked away with no charges against them simply because they protested, there is no going back for America. Today it's Mahmoud Khalil. Tomorrow it's me or you.
Protesting against war and genocide is not a crime. Hey, I'm Tahia. I'm an organizer and a law student in New York, and let's break down the case of Mahmoud Khalil and what the Trump administration thinks that they're doing. So on March 8th, Mahmoud Khalil, a leading student activist in the pro-Palestine movement at Columbia University, was illegally abducted by the Department of Homeland Security agents and is now held in an ICE detention center in Louisiana. Marco Rubio is on a power trip, and in his new capacity as a Secretary of State, he is invoking this super obscure, super unused provision in the Immigration and Nationality Act, also known as the foreign policy ground, that states that as Secretary of State, he has the authority based on, quote, reasonable grounds for the arrest and detention of any non-citizen that he's determined that their presence or activities in the United States would have serious adverse foreign policy consequences for the US. But let's be clear. Protesting Israel's war on Gaza and being critical of the US and your universities sending funds to war abroad is not a crime. This was a major violation of our First Amendment rights to free speech. And when asked, Troy Edgar, the Deputy Secretary of DHS, did not dispute that Mahmoud had not broken any laws. So what is the legal basis here? They are all grasping at straws, trying to make an example of Mahmoud to shut down political dissent. And this random provision has only been used in cases regarding high-profile international government officials, like where a former top politician in Mexico was wanted in criminal charges related to a scandal and was deported at the request of the Secretary of State. And on top of that, after the habeas corpus petition was filed by Mahmoud's lawyers immediately to release him, which habeas is a fundamental right to prevent overreach by the government, and it protects you from unlawful imprisonment so that you can actually get in front of a court first, ICE went ahead and moved him overnight to a remote detention facility in Louisiana, away from his home in New York, the state that he was arrested in and should be tried in, and away from his wife, who is 8 months pregnant, and then they didn't let him call his lawyers confidentially. That's a violation of our Fifth Amendment due process rights, which is supposed to ensure that everyone, regardless of status, gets fair legal proceedings. Very clear that this is a targeted attack of political repression on the Palestine Solidarity Movement. And the implications on our right to free speech and our ability to protest on anything from climate and racial justice to LGBTQ rights is compromised. And this could extend to anything that Trump's far-right billionaire agenda disagrees. And we have seen these Red Scare, McCarthyite oppression tactics happen to our movements before. They've happened to socialists, to artists, to academics. And to be clear, everyone in the US, regardless of immigration status, is protected by the First Amendment for freedom of speech and expressing grievances of the government. It's in the Constitution. So we need to stay on the streets, demand the release of Mahmoud Khalil, and demonstrate the power of the mass movement we have built for the liberation of Palestine over the past 17 months. Because this doesn't scare us. and an attack on one is an attack on us all.
Hey, hi, hello, I'm the History Wizard and I have a master's degree in Holocaust and Genocide Studies. Upon assuming power in 1933, one of the very first things that Hitler did was begin rounding up and arbitrarily detaining his political opponents and anyone considered to be a political dissident in the Dachau concentration camp for no other reason than that these people disagreed with Nazi policies and publicly organized against them. The justification for these detentions, when such a thing was even required, was that these communists and social democrats were a threat to the security of the German state and the German people, and Hitler pointed to the Reichstag fire, an isolated incident of political violence carried out by one man, as proof positive of his assertion that not a single one of these communists or social democrats could be trusted in public life. And because of these hollow, flaccid justifications, thousands of people would be rounded up into concentration camps for no other reason than that they said something Hitler didn't like. On the first day of its operation, Dachau admitted some 200 political prisoners arrested and detained on absolutely no charges. Now, at this point, and to my knowledge, the Trump administration has only abducted and illegally detained one person for voicing a political opinion that they don't agree with. But don't let those broad differences in numbers detract from how serious this incident is. The abduction of Mahmoud Khalil is a test. They want to see if they can get away with it, if they can get away with arresting people for voicing political opinions in opposition of the current administration. Every new piece of policy, every executive action, every political action that the Trump administration takes is a test to see what they can get away with, to see where the line is and how far past it you'll let them creep. And if you're not already worried because none of these policies or executive orders or political actions affect you, you should start being worried. Because only caring about your own rights is exactly how you lose them. None of us are free unless all of us are free. And as always, have a day.
I was born and raised in a Palestinian refugee camp in southern Damascus in Syria. My family's history in Palestine actually goes back to as long as my grandparent could trace it. They lived in a very small village right next to Tiberias. Mostly they were farmers. My grandmother, she used to tell us that she had Jewish neighbors. They would share a piece of land where they would farm it. Tiberias was one of the first cities that the Zionists targeted in 1948 with ethnic cleansing. In April 1948, a month before the Nakba, the Zionist militias, they burned one of their villages. When they heard the news about it, they had to leave immediately. Some of the men went to fight. Big families, they had to go to Syria. My grandmother, she was pregnant at that time. She had to walk 40 miles. She gave birth on the way. When they arrived in the refugee camp, they thought it's just a matter of days until they would go back. They did not want to be killed because they heard about the horror stories across Tiberias. My dad was born in a tent. His family lived in that tent until like mid-70s when they upgraded to small structures. In the 90s, they finally kind of like had concrete buildings. To us, it was always a temporary home until we go back to Palestine. That's why very few families actually invested in their houses. Not necessarily because they don't have the means, but because investing more in these houses means that they may forget Palestine.
Yesterday, I saw what the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was saying, that Zionism is not a bad word. And we should not be ashamed to support Zionism, and it's not a bad word. It baffles me, honestly. I struggle to understand the audacity of people who never lived a day under the Israeli colonialism, apartheid, oppression. They never lived one single day under that. And they dare to support Zionism, you know, which is what's fueling this kind of oppression that we've been going through as Palestinians since 75 years. So, yeah, short answer is racism is the core.
Hi, everyone. I'd like you to understand what's happening in the United States right now. Yes, it's clearly full-blown fascism. And yes, they're trying to criminalize and deport a man that spoke up against the mass murder of children and the Holocaust of his people. But I need you all to listen to what I'm about to say, especially considering you are all social media users. Donald Trump just recently issued Executive Order 14161, titled Protecting the United States from Foreign Terrorists and Other National Security and Public Safety Threats, which directs implementation of uniform vetting standards and necessitates the collection of all information necessary for a rigorous vetting and screening of all grounds of inadmissibility or basis for the denial of immigration-related benefits. Execution of the executive order requires U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, to collect social media identifier data on immigration forms and or within information collection systems. This data will be collected from certain populations of individuals on applications for immigration-related benefits and is necessary for the enhanced identity verification, vetting, and national security screening and inspection conducted by USCIS and required under the executive order. This collection of information is necessary to comply with Section 2 of the Executive Order, establishing enhanced screening and vetting standards and procedures enabling USCIS to assess an alien's eligibility to receive an immigration-related benefit from USCIS. This data collection also is used to help validate an applicant's identity and determine whether such grant of a benefit poses a security or public safety threat to the United States. In short, for anyone attempting to immigrate to the United States, whether it be on visa or green card or whatever it may be, the United States of America will mine your social media accounts to essentially see if you are pro-Palestinian in any capacity. And if they find that you are, they will deem you a terrorist as well as a security and public safety threat. While people like this and this are free to roam the streets of America, do you know who else employs this social media mining tactic in order to ban people from entering their country? Yup, the fascist, terrorist, apartheid ethno-state of Israel. They do it to Palestinians. They even do it to their own Israelis. And they most certainly do it to anyone visiting Israel that isn't of Jewish or Zionist background. I'm just going to read this to you word for word, which is from a simple search on Google. Israeli security officials, including those at Ben Gurion Airport and potentially other airports where Israeli security officials conduct pre-flight checks, have been known to conduct searches of personal electronic devices, including social media accounts, as part of their security procedures. Individuals, including those who express political opinions or share information deemed inaccurate and sensitive by Israel, may face consequences such as detention, arrest, and or the suspension or withdrawal of their official permits. For example, in the past, the Israeli Foreign Ministry has admitted to using Facebook to create a blacklist of activists, leading to bans from entering the country. And I will bet your ass I am on that blacklist. In fact, just this morning, my friend and U.S. veteran Captain Josephine Gilbo was on her way to Palestine by way of Jordan, only to be stopped, searched, and interrogated for hours by Israel, who then banned her from entering Palestine because they deemed her a national security threat. Let me repeat, an American, not an Arab, not a Muslim, not a Palestinian, an American, a United States Army veteran, is now banned from entering Palestine as a national security threat to Israel because she advocates for Palestinians on her social media account. This is something that the United States of America now has in common with the fascist, terrorist, apartheid ethno-state of Israel, where both are fake democracies driven by fascism and where freedom of speech and expression are dead. And if you think this won't eventually affect you, no matter who you are, then you're as dim-witted as they come. I have never been more serious in my life. This is the time we all fight. All of us. Republicans, Democrats, Independents, black, white, yellow, purple, brown, gay, straight, Muslims, Jews, Hindus, Christians, Catholics, atheists, young and old. Everyone. This is an assault on you, your freedom, your children's future. So get off your asses and fight this. Now.
Hi, everyone. I had the privilege of partnering with some very courageous filmmakers on a vital film called October 8.
You know what I find astonishing is theaters will absolutely let this movie play. This Israeli Zionist propaganda will be allowed to play wherever it wants. But a Oscar-winning documentary gets shut down. In Florida, the mayor of Miami threatens to shut down a theater for the screening of No Other Lands, a documentary about what it's like to be a Palestinian in the West Bank. He says the film is anti-Semitic, and this is a one-sided propaganda attack on the Jewish people. Now, do you think theaters are going to get shut down for a film called October 8? This theater's punishment for showing No Other Lands is a termination of their lease and for them to rescind tens of thousands of dollars of grant money. This is once again an example of Palestinian voices being silenced. I hope everyone boycotts this movie, and I'm not saying to write bad reviews. I'm not saying to go on IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes and call out this Zionist propaganda. I'm not saying to let everyone know to boycott this film so it doesn't make money. All I'm saying is, this just doesn't really seem right.
Yeah, it's gonna backfire on their ass. Also, he could have a mental illness. There's a disease that he has right now that he's trying to hide. It could be starting from his hand and his... This is why also that... This is the same thing with the Prime Minister. I got this video and Father God was saying to share it.
Somebody please explain to me why every single world leader seemingly has to have some kind of connection with Jeffrey Epstein. Is it not possible to just get some nice dude who wants to serve his country? Nope, instead it's always gotta be a globalist banker who, by the way, has never held elected office and hangs out with Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah, not ideal, I would say, but maybe maybe that was just a random photo that was taken. So I spent a little bit of time this morning to dig into this whole thing, and here is what I was able to find. So this is Mark Carney. He is the new Prime Minister of Canada. That is his wife, which we'll come back to in a second. And here, this is Ghislaine Maxwell. This is the back of her head here. Maxwell is, of course, Jeffrey Epstein's number 2, allegedly. And these photos were taken at a music festival called Wilderness, which is run by his wife's sister, his sister-in-law. Now, the Wilderness Festival is a celebration of the arts and the outdoors, both wholesome and hedonistic. Now, that I am sure of. So what was he doing at that festival? Well, turns out Carney's sister-in-law, Lady Tanya Rotherwick, is a close friend of Ghislaine Maxwell, allegedly. Because Mark has denied those connections, with his team putting out this statement saying, quote, as a child, the woman you referenced, they're talking about Ghislaine Maxwell, went to the same high school as Mr. Carney's wife's sister. While they have bumped into each other in public settings, including the 11-year-old photos you were sent, they're not friends. Except here is Lady Tanya Rotherwick in Epstein's Black Book with a bunch of numbers and address listed, so maybe they're friends, possibly? Just an educated guess. Also, it was reported that when Ghislaine went missing after the whole Epstein scandal broke in the UK, Lady Tanya Rotherwick's apartment was one of the places that the press thought that she may have been staying at. So yeah, I don't think they just bumped into each other there. And now, Mark Carney is the new Prime Minister of Canada.
But he said that that's not a good Prime Minister because this guy was friends with Epstein, whatever, Ghislaine or whatever. And Father God is like, yeah, he is a pedo. Yeah. Why do they put these people in power? I don't understand. Can you put like a normal person who's not obsessed with like kids and doing abusive shit and psychotic? Like, why? Why do we always put people in power who are psycho, who are obsessed with money, who will do anything for money, obviously? They don't give a fuck who they backstab. They don't have integrity. And they portray something that they're not, right? They're good communicators, right? They're good with juggling or whatever, pretending. But then the Temperance in reverse and the 3 of Pentacles in reverse, these people cannot work with other people, especially earth angels or people who have integrity and loyalty and honesty. These people are constantly jealous. These people have never fucking worked in their life too. They don't work.
Well, absolutely the boycotts need to expand. Not only are the boycotts against Tesla working, they are working so well that Donald Trump phoned in his little friend Kim Kardashian and said, can you do a propaganda shoot for me to try to up their sales? And since Kim Kardashian has never met a dollar or a she didn't love. She's like, sign me up. What I need you guys to understand is that we've already been in a class war. You just haven't been fighting back. This is her also flaunting her love of how much she hates regular people and poor people. Look, I'm gonna replace my maidservant with a robot. I can't wait to replace all people with robots so that nobody has a job. I know that there are a lot of people that are such bootlickers to the wealthy, and they have such Stockholm syndrome because they've been brainwashed in this country to believe that they're just temporarily embarrassed millionaires, and they think they have more in common with the oligarch than the person who helped assemble that robot. But for those of you who are starting to understand that this is a class war, it's been a class war, it's just been one-sided, it's time to recognize what's happening. Not only should you have been blocked her long ago, okay? But yes, blocking is not enough. It is time to up those boycotts. She did this to try to break the Tesla boycott, okay? And since she wants to get cute and be a scab, it's time to boycott her shit. This Tesla boycott is an organic boycott that is being done by masses all across the country. And here she is trying to undermine it like it's her fucking marriage. So why don't we the people show her that Tesla's not the only place we can boycott?
So why are we putting people who don't know what the fuck is living paycheck to paycheck? This is people who literally give this, right? The Ten of Cups, the just from the past. It's just doing things from the past that it worked in the past, but it's just cursing themselves. So these people are like curse intensely. Like the Hierophant in reverse, this is like God is like, hell no. Because this is people who, that's what they do. They Ten of Swords, anyone, anything for money. And that's the truth. That's another thing. It's like they can't stand people who speak the truth, truth tellers and stuff like that. There's judgment. Judgment is a lot, yeah. A lot of you high priestess, we're supposed to be exposed in this. Yeah. Page of Swords, people are watching. Yeah. A lot of you is like, they're watching to see where they can confuse the Emperor, Divine Masculine, or where can they continue confusing? Because a lot of you, it's like, yeah, to confuse this Emperor from seeing who the real, because you see it goes from the Sun at Cups in reverse, and then you have the Mother with the right cup. So a lot of you could also mean that, like, there's someone who's trying to confuse or change the narrative. There's this energy of changing the narrative to make you look bad or to make you look like you're not what you say you are, but someone's being watching who is very intuitive as well, who knows where the right judgment is. Like, there's serious judgment. So this could be also not just collectively, but this could be also for an individual that knows the truth about this liar, this sneaky energy, someone who constantly, a lot of you, there's someone like trying to confuse someone. Like, you're an owl, like you hold the truth as well. You're not confused, and I feel like this person is not as well. So a lot of you, by the way, I see a lot of, like, I don't know why, but I see these two. It's like an eclipse, so the moon lunar eclipse. So this could be that reading that I wanted to do, that Father God asked me to do. The full moon and Virgo, which is like a lunar eclipse. Yeah, something is going to eclipse out.
This is why Israel is targeting journalists in Gaza, and they don't let the media enter. This video is from a UN delegation driving into northern Gaza recently, and the extent of destruction that this video shows is something that I've never seen before. Israel is razing Gaza to the ground. They are annihilating the Palestinians in Gaza. Every building is a target. Every home is a target. Every hospital and school, everything is destroyed. You can't tell me that this is targeting Hamas. You can't tell me that this is self-defense, that this is justified, this is evil. Not a single person can watch this video and honestly say that what Israel is doing is not a crime against humanity. I have never, and probably will never again, see as much destruction as what's going on in Gaza right now. This video shows that everything is a target to Israel. They're not out to destroy Hamas. They're out to destroy Gaza, to destroy the Palestinians. It's just like the West Bank, where Israel has for decades displaced Palestinians off their land, bulldozed their home, cleansed their villages, and built settlements in their places. Because Israel's ultimate goal for the West Bank and Gaza is to settle it, annex it, and make it become part of Israel's ethno-state. I mean, there are already companies pre-selling this land in America. At the beginning of the summer in California, there was a big protest outside a synagogue that was hosting a company selling off stolen land from Gaza and in the West Bank. If you think more people should see what is truly being done to Gaza, then send them this video. Share it, text this, copy the link if you don't have anyone to share it to because it boosts the video. Anyways, if you want to do something for Palestinians, there are plenty of links in my bio where you can do exactly that. Thank you, and free Palestine.
The UN has released a report that says Israel carried out genocidal acts systematically targeting sexual and reproductive healthcare facilities.
Like the Al Basma Center, Gaza's main fertility clinic, destroyed by Israeli forces along with 4,000 embryos. Israel has deliberately inflicted conditions of life calculated to bring about the physical destruction of Palestinians, including the barring of life-saving humanitarian aid.
The frequency, prevalence and severity of sexual and gender-based crimes perpetrated across the occupied Palestinian territory leads the Commission to conclude that sexual and gender-based violence is increasingly used as a method of war by Israel to destabilise, dominate, oppress and destroy the Palestinian people.
There are very detailed accounts in this report about the measures that Israeli soldiers have taken on the ground in Gaza. One of the conclusions that it has reached, the targeting of the IVF center as a genocidal act, how that impacts reproductive health, how this has created conditions that affect women's ability not just to bear children, but to also have healthy pregnancies and to have access to medical care. The difficulties faced by Palestinian women under those extreme conditions of war, of starvation, of denial of medical services. An entire clinic with more than 4,000 embryos was destroyed methodically by Israeli forces in Gaza, 1,000 sperm samples as well, in effect denying all those thousands of families the right to have a child.
Hey, hi, hello. If you've ever studied U.S. history, and honestly, if you live in the U.S., you probably haven't. More than likely, you've studied U.S. folklore, the sanitized, whitewashed version of American exceptionalism, bedtime stories that we're told, so that we always believe that the U.S. is the greatest country on earth and has always been on the side of the angels. But if we actually study U.S. history and we take it upon ourselves to objectively examine the things that this country has been doing, even before it was a country, the U.S. has pretty much always been the bad guy. After all, this country was founded on white supremacy and genocide and built on the back of enslaved Africans. Right? The U.S. has a distressingly long history of punishing people for voicing politically dissident opinions, as well as killing them for daring to fight for their rights, access to which is only being denied to people because they are not cis-het, Christian, white, able-bodied men. The first enslaved people set foot in the United States in the year 1619. It'd be about 100 years later in 1711 when the first official slave market was set up in New York along Wall Street. Less than a year later than that, in 1712, was the first large-scale slave revolt in the United States. On April 6, 1712, 20 enslaved African men set fire to a building on Maiden Lane, and when people showed up to put out the fire, they attacked them with axes, guns, and swords, killing 8 and injuring 7 before running off into the night. Their freedom would unfortunately be very shortly lived, as all 20 of them were almost immediately recaptured. In the end, in addition to the 20 enslaved African men who had set fire to the building before trying to secure their freedom, colonial forces arrested basically 50 random black people. They put 27 of them on trial, convicted 21 of them, and then executed them all, 20 of them by burning them alive, and a final one by bludgeoning them to death on a breaking wheel. The U.S. has always been the bad guys. Some of you are just only now learning this because suddenly its cruelty is affecting you too. And as far as I'm concerned, better late than never. Welcome to the conversation.
What is so intimidating about a black man with a gun saying that I'm not going to allow a terrorist to harm my family?
These aren't police officers or soldiers.
They're business owners, their fathers, their sons, daughters.
These are civilians, members of the Lincoln Heights Safety and Watch Program.
It's a duty. Okay, let's go.
The duty? Protecting their neighborhood, the majority black village of Lincoln Heights, Ohio. After neo-Nazis held a rally here last month, carrying rifles, waving swastikas, and hurling racial slurs, just moments before children were let out of school. At the time, law enforcement officials said the neo-Nazis did not break any laws, but an investigation by county prosecutors is ongoing. Weeks later, the KKK came with these flyers. Every day, the Safety and Watch group escorts children to school and patrols the streets.
Why do you all wear masks?
Those Nazis, we have reports of them finding our backgrounds, so we're not hiding ourselves from the residents, but we're protecting our family from what we're doing out here.
Are you worried at all that having a potentially armed response could just create more friction, create more danger?
I'll answer that by saying I've never felt safer as a black man.
This narrative, dark ideology, fascism, this is it too. Fascism, yeah, look at that. Death in reverse. Like, someone doesn't want this to end. Like, they don't want this, yeah, this thing that they do in the dark is exposed. It's gonna be exposed. Some of you, they don't want you to go to this transformation. They don't want you to, others of you, is that it? Like, once you go to this transformation, once you know who you're worth, once you know who you are, you stand up for justice, you protest, divest, boycott, and you're not okay with fucking fascism, and you're anti-Zionist and anti-colonial and shit like that, and you full communist and socialist. Yeah, this is a huge fear. Also, this energy of like, if protest didn't work, why would they try to block it? Why would they take someone who literally was just going against genocide? Because a lot of us, that's what we should be doing. Why? Because they want to continue this in the dark. Yeah, making money. Look, the tower, they're trying to avoid this tower. Whoever this dark leader or someone who just thinks about money and stuff like that, look, they're fucking devil. I can't make this up. Fucking karmic as fuck, psychotic, obsessive. Look, also siphoning energy, the strength in reverse. Look at that. Yo, man, a lot of you, someone's shedding their skin that's a snake, but they're a fucking snake. So there's this battle between good and evil, right? And this one is trying to make a lot of y'all believe that this is the right way and stuff like that. No. Also, the strength in reverse, someone could be dealing with some type of addiction or something like that. Work on that, okay? Because this is how it's supposed to be, okay? If you're not there in that energy, that's okay, but you need to work on this. Okay, that's for some of you. Sorry, I'm channeling multiple messages, so bear with me. For a lot of you, God is with you, okay? Like, this doesn't have any power as long as you give it. Don't give any power. Don't give it the energy. A lot of you, there's people crazy thinking that their satanic rituals and their psychotic energy is working. It's not. It's just exposed to them even more. See? Yeah, this King of Wands. See, now it's upright. Yeah, there's a dark spiritualist or someone who does into the weird stuff. They're doing some weird shit. Trying to take energy from someone. A lot of you do the fasting, okay? It does help, okay? Yeah, something about work. Yeah, a lot of you, you're getting a new opportunity. Could be a new home or a new job or something like that. Don't despair, okay? There's something coming in, good news, okay? Others of you, you're gonna win this court judgment or something like that. I don't know, a lot of you, this also is protection for me. Whenever I see this, like your finances is protected, you don't have to worry for now. It could be delays or something like that from some finances, because there's a lot of people attacking that. But it's okay. You're protected and this is too as well. Yeah, see the rat. There's an owl who's gonna eat this fucking rat. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of you, you're not gonna be rejected, okay? This is the King of Swords. Someone's coming in with the truth, okay? Yeah, about this partnership or relationship is just not good, okay? Yeah. A lot of you, you're the star. Your wish fulfillment is coming, okay? A lot of you, just be careful. There's something that is just not for you, okay? Like maybe it might be disguised as like, oh, it's a good thing. It's a dream come true. Use of discernment, okay? Yeah, a lot of you, there's someone rejected something here. Someone knows the truth about this partnership. It's just causing a lot of 10 of Wands, but you see it's in reverse while also the 2 of Cups. Someone's broke off with some fucked up shit. All this of you, limited belief, toxic illusion, karmic energy, okay? Someone's not married, someone's divorced, someone's like, hell no. But a lot of you, whoever they were with, this rat, this fox, this 10 of Swords, whoever betrayed them or betrayed you or something, they're being discovered. So they're watching you. Yeah, ooh. Yeah, this is someone who tried to like slow someone down or sacrifice it. But you see, you guys going forward. Someone's in their head about some sacrifice or something that they did that is going back to them. Yeah, oof. Yeah, someone's like a gold digging energy. Yeah, this plan that they wanted, this magician, see, in reverse, it didn't work. See, something, maybe they're attacking you on social media or your platforms or something that you're a cycle, they didn't want the cycle to end. Oh my God, yeah, justice. There's something that they wanted, it just didn't work out. Miscommunication or someone not communicating or not speaking up, silence someone, censoring. Yeah, there's justice here. Mother says this is the, yeah, someone very narcissistic. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, someone's in their mind constantly. Yeah. Because they want this wish fulfillment. They want this long-term commitment there, or yeah, someone's healing from a heartbreak. Yeah, I feel like it's a decision that they made. I don't know. It was an illusion. A lot of people are releasing from that illusion. Yeah, someone's intense heartbreak. Damn. A lot of you, they're attracted to what you're doing. Yeah. Someone's feeling like very foolish and they're getting their energy back. I feel like they're regaining their energy back after dealing with some karmic energy, was literally siphoning and taking energy. But there's good news, okay? With the Fool, I'm getting also like there's a new beginning for a lot of you, especially like the light is gonna come, like hope and stuff like that. A lot of you, you're the light, okay? Even though for a lot of people you might seem like naive or something like that, continue doing what you're doing, okay? Yeah, because karma's on your side. Land back intensely, okay? Intensely, yeah. There's people watching, okay? Because they want this new beginning to not happen, this transformation. Oh well, but it's not gonna be like that. See, this Empress, this is someone who's very dark. Yeah, they're manipulating someone. Okay, so a lot of you be aware of this dark karmic energy, or trying to pretend that they're nurturing, motherly or something like that. They're not. Others of you, be aware there's someone trying to portray, change the narrative so that you don't look like the good person or something like that. But this is someone like really sinister. Okay, so cleanse your energy, protect your energy, and yeah, justice coming for sure. For sure. Free Palestine, free Congo, free Sudan. Continue boycotting, continue protesting, and do not let the fucking colonizers get into your mind. Everything that they're doing, it's a psychological, but also distraction, okay? Because there's something that they're planning to do, which they are doing. Check out my Telegram, check out my repos, okay? They are doing it. They just think that's what they're trying to delete documentation, delete footage and stuff like that because they're fucked up. They still think they're gonna continue doing this, but God is bigger than all that bullshit, and it's gonna be exposed, and then he's gonna take matters and fast. I love you. Be well, be safe, and continue what you're doing. Use your discernment. That's your gift. God give you intuition and discernment. Use it wisely, okay?